Hey, Stricker Drama, and figure I'd give an update on this whole COVID thing. This is my first update, so this would be day number 3, if you want to count it that, because Thursday night it came on, Friday, Saturday, now it'd be Sunday. So this would be day number 3, and so got a heck of a headache. So we'll go through it. So last night felt really good. Generally right now, I spend my days, I wake up and it's a new day with a whole new set of things going on. And I spend my day chasing those around, medicating those, trying to figure out what to do to resolve them. And then somewhere right around supper time, I get to the point where I'm feeling actually pretty good. And I feel actually really good from supper time to bedtime. And then just lay down and go to sleep, wondering what it's going to be like tomorrow when I wake up. And yeah, and so that's kind of the way this is going. So woke up this morning, and as I've told you guys before, I have with the Devil's Claw video, I've faced arthritis in my low back before. And so I had done some research on COVID and the different vaccines that were out there. And one of the things that I had seen people make comments about, if I keep saying I apologize, but like I'm in brain fog because of this headache. People making comments about having past situations where they had inflammation reappear because of either taking a vaccine or having COVID. All right. And so that happened to me. I was waiting to see if that did happen. And so that happened to me. Like I said, I actually felt really good at the point in time I went to bed last night. Felt normal, to be honest with you. Didn't feel sick. Felt normal. Felt good. Woke up this morning and my low back was killing me, just like I'd never started taking Devil's Claw. And I've been taking Devil's Claw through the whole thing, so it's not like I stopped because I was not feeling good. I've been taking the Devil's Claw through the whole thing. So I also had a situation where I broke a toe previously. Had some inflammation in that and some pain in that for a little while till I could get that situated. My toe has been lit up today. Feels like I'm walking on a hot coal. And then I had a situation when I was in high school where I got hit in the chest with a drive shaft in a garage I was working in. And it actually snapped the part where your sternum and your bone comes together up here. And that has just felt like somebody's pushing a hot poker in my chest today from that point too. So every place where I have had a known previous history of inflammation has just really been fired up today. So that's been kind of different. I've been taking BC powders, and it's generally what I take for about anything, to be honest with you. And that seems to actually help. And the other thing is pre-workout. So I do that, and it seems to kind of get a handhold on it. I do have a history of bronchitis on occasion. Most of it's weather dependent, but I have had this cough today that's felt very similar to the bronchitis. I've shied away from taking any ephedrine. I really don't want to go that route because I took my vitals today, and where I'm normally like a 106/60, with a pulse rate in the high 60s, low 70s. I took my blood pressure today because I've had this headache all day, just to see where it would be, and I'm like a 120/80 right now on a blood pressure with a pulse rate in the high 80s, just on the verge of 90s. Pulse ox is still good, but there's that. My appetite's the same as what it was, and I was talking to my son about it. His issue when he had it was that he felt like everything tastes or smells like diesel fuel. I haven't had that. My appetite is not quite as bad as it was yesterday. Like I said yesterday, I was like eating everything in the house. It's not quite there, but I still have a heck of an appetite. I mean, anytime that I pass by the pantry, I'm grabbing something to eat. But it's not like it was for the last 2 days where I have to constantly keep getting up and go eating. It's just any opportunity I get, I actually grab something to eat. My wife just says that she just still, like, nothing's changed for her. No new pains, no new nothing. She just feels worn out. She just feels under the weather, and that's about it. But like I said, it's like I go to bed feeling good, and then I wake up to this whole new, like, what's today's challenge going to be? And today's challenge is the inflammation in previously known areas of inflammation. And so, hot showers, BC powders, those kind of things, do what they can do. But yeah, other than that, I'm not running a fever, but I'm still sweating like hell, but not running a fever. And so I've had some people comment. Those of you who comment wish me well. I truly appreciate that. I do know some people who this went really bad for, and their circumstances at this point were different than mine because they were in a really bad place. I'm not, and again, I can get up and do stuff around the house and work out in the yard and do stuff like that. And like I said yesterday, I'm gonna sweat my butt off if I'm sitting in the house or if I'm out here in the garden working. I'm staying hydrated and I'm not running a fever. So, again, we're not having any contact with anybody, but it is what it is. We actually even had to miss our own daughter's birthday party yesterday because of this. But like I said, it is what it is. That being said, I guess that's kind of where I'd leave it for this day. I have had several people ask me if I've gotten a vaccine. The answer to that would be no. It was available to me through my workplace. The vaccine, I didn't feel like, for me and my personal choice as far as getting vaccinated on stuff. And guys, I've been vaccinated against tons of stuff. I used to run actually, one of 4 medical response to terrorism aid teams in my state. So some people have like what they call what would be a federal DMAT team, which would be a team that would go out to disasters and do medical treatment for that stuff. Well, the state that I work in stood up 4 teams that were specifically initially designed to respond to terrorist events and to be able to provide on-site care for large amounts of people. And so the team that I was with and that I led for quite some years, we faced the Haiti earthquake deal. We were a receiving agency for that if need be. We were stood up and had all of our plans in place when Ebola, it sounded like it was going to be a big thing in the United States. And because you do all these things, you potentially are going to be around all these diseases, you have to get vaccinated for a bunch of stuff. And so I've been vaccinated for a ton of stuff. But this one particular vaccine, and specifically the brand, which I'm not going to name, a vaccine that was available through my agency, I didn't feel comfortable with. Now there were some other vaccines out there that I would have considered, and I asked about those, and those weren't options. But specifically the brand that we were offered, I wasn't comfortable with. So yeah, so I haven't had the vaccine for COVID. I would, under any circumstance, to be honest with you, prefer to have natural antibodies. The one thing I am a little bit, I don't know if you'd say skeptical, hesitant, leery is probably the best word here, about is the same thing that we've had previous discussions about on this channel, would be the hypercoagulation, the blood clots after COVID. And so a friend of mine who does pathology, I asked him, and this is way before I even got this, I asked him, hey, if you were to contract it, what would be your best ideal situation for, self-care? And he said, I would just recommend you take a baby aspirin every day for, however long for the next year or whatever, to help, with that. And so I already do that. I already take a baby aspirin every day. So I would just go ahead and continue my way through that. And that's kind of where I'm planning on being. So this will be day 3 for me. I'm kind of really hoping to have this done here in the next week. I'm not much for sitting around. I'm not much for not being at work. And I'm certainly not much for sitting around the house and not being able to go to the store. This would be different. Like I said previously, we were in a remodel of the house. This would be different if I knew before this all happened that it was going to happen. I could have went and got a bunch of supplies to work on the house on this remodel one, but I didn't, and so I don't have a bunch of stuff here. And you know, I'd love to be able to get some of that work done, because sick or not, I mean, I'm not much for sitting around on the couch watching the world go by. So anyways, Trigger Trauma, I hope you guys have a good day. Bye.